All right, nice intimate group. Thanks for being here. When you give that option of streaming, sometimes that it backfires on you a little bit, but thanks for being here. Tonight, as we start everything at East Catholic, I'd love to have Sister Peggy come up and lead us in a prayer, please. Sister?
Lord, we come here this evening with grateful hearts as we hear from our President, Sean Brennan. We ask for your continued guidance and wisdom throughout this meeting. Help us to engage in meaningful dialogue and allow us to grow closer as faculty, parents, alumni, friends, and supporters of East Catholic High School. We ask this as we ask all things in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Sister. 55 years, give her a hand, not bad. Good evening and welcome to East Catholic State of the School Address. I'd like to begin this evening with a quick video that captures a quintessential East Catholic moment from earlier this year.
I have a player on my team named Kaylee, and she's autistic. And she's a freshman, and this is the first time she's played field hockey. I think the score is 5-0. It's the third quarter. We threw a lot of our players in that haven't had a lot of varsity playing time, and we felt, you know what, this is going to be a time for Kaylee to also get in and play with the team. Kaylee went into the game, but I have to tell you that he never said anything to East Catholic about her going in the game. East Catholic figured it out. They saw Kaylee go in. They saw my player Leah working with her. Kaylee was hitting the ball, and everyone was cheering Kaylee on. And then the ball was brought into the circle right in front of the goal. And the girls were saying, Kaylee, hit the ball, hit the ball. And so Kaylee hit the ball towards the goal. And at that moment, the East Catholic goalie stepped aside so that the ball would go in the net. And everybody on the field, both teams, started cheering for Kaylee.
I was in goal in the second half with my defense around me, and Kaylee was on the field, and kind of as a team, like community, we realized that it wasn't about us, it wasn't about winning or losing, it was about making the night special for her. We did everything to allow her to score and give her the moment that she deserved, and to be able to do it with ease. I think it's an amazing reflection of what we've done at school and what our morals are as a team. Even though it's not our team, it's a team person, and we have to do what's right for her, and it was a really special moment. And they felt it was like a safe place for her to be at, with East Catholic, and that was like really important to us as a team.
East Catholic, they recognized it, they saw it. Nobody told the goalie to do that. Nobody told the players to cheer each other on. They did that all by themselves. The gesture of kindness, like something I've never seen in coaching in my 38 years of coaching. It just totally was a highlight. When the game ended, I went up to the goalie and I just said, I saw what you did, and you have so much class.
We were all cheering, jumping up and down, high-fiving each other, high-fiving her. When I got off the field, my mom hugged me and she said how proud she was and told us that everyone on the sideline was really excited and everyone in the stands was cheering, and her mom was crying and my mom was crying. It was so heartwarming because I was able to do something that would have such a big impact on someone and their community and even our community too.
I know that Kaylee's parents were so proud and so excited, and at the end of the game, we gave Kaylee the game ball. It was just such goodness. It was really great to be a part of it. You look back over the years, and you have some memorable moments and some great wins, but to be quite honest with you, I don't think I've ever had the feeling that I had being at that game and watching what transpired. I feel like it was a blessing to be a part of it. This is high school sports. The bottom line is this is what athletics should be about. The whole feeling, everybody who was there was just amazed by it.
I'm sure that's not the first time any of you have seen that, but we could not be more proud of our field hockey team, Bree in particular. And when the media grabbed a hold of the story, they ran it in newspapers, they ran it on TV and on social media. The Play Like a Champion from Notre Dame picked it up as a great story. It was just an amazing moment for the team. But the public, what they saw was a sort of heartwarming, unique story that stood out from all the bad news that we tend to get, right? While we also applaud that team's selflessness and Bree's selflessness, it's not as much of a shock to us because it happens here every day. That's not unique here. And that's something to hold to your heart. And they happen all the time. We come together.
Player on my team.
Whoop, that's okay. We come together this evening at an invigorating time in the 6-decade history of East Catholic High School. Charging into the midway point of our 2022-2025 strategic plan with our eyes fixed on the horizon, wind in our sails, and holding a steady course. As president of the high school I graduated from 38 years ago, there are many things I could say at this moment. I could say that we're meeting our enrollment goal of 115 new freshmen and 430 students overall. I could say that our inquiries and applications are trending even more strongly. That our financial strength is building with each year, characterized by surpluses for the last 2 fiscal years, with plans to end the current fiscal year with a balanced budget or better. I could say that the signs of invigoration of our physical plant, from the raising of the convent to the ongoing upgrading of our fitness center, weight room, and conversion of our library into an integrated technology center, are all around us. I could say that we emerged from a global pandemic smarter and stronger. That our right sizing of East Catholic student-faculty ratio is coming into balance. That we met many challenges with victories in the past year. But what I'd rather say is that for our students, East Catholic is a home for your heart. A place where you are supported, cared for, and encouraged by your peers, your teachers, administrators, coaches, and staff. That through our last 3 years' themes of inclusion, selflessness, and grit, the state of our school has never looked more promising, and that East Catholic High School is here to stay, and we're here to thrive. My greatest wish is that I could somehow hold a mirror up to all of our students, all of you in the room tonight, all of our parents, our alumni, and see what I see. A vibrant, nurturing school community where all of us each day encounter one another, see the living God in one another, and in all things around us, the blessings and opportunities we share. You see, I'm really just a spokesperson tonight. And if you could see what I see tonight and every day, you'd have a notion of why I'm so happy to convey the aspirations and successes that all of our members of our family have achieved. And because we believe in clear and concise and consistent communication at East Catholic, I will adhere to that mantra. So let's take a look at the state of the school using the 8 pillars of our strategic plan. Mission and Catholic identity is the first pillar. Our mission statement, if you will indulge me, East Catholic High School is a regional college preparatory school of the Archdiocese of Hartford. Building on Catholic tradition and the charism of the Sisters of Notre Dame de Namur, we challenge our students to build strong moral character while pursuing academic excellence, responsible citizenship, active participation in community service, sportsmanship, and an appreciation for the fine arts. And my favorite line, guided by the teachings of Jesus Christ, East Catholic is a welcoming place for all students. With our mission and Catholic identity hold close to our chest, and part of if it's in your name, you're going to have to live it. And we want our students to experience spiritual formation throughout their entire time here. Perhaps the best example of that is our service program, and we've all heard about stretch goals, goals where it comes to both individuals and organizationals. Well, we've got them. Service, stretch, service that requires engaging the compassionate heart. And what does that mean? Well, what it means is we go help people. And that's what our students do, our peer ministers, those who have to get their service hours in, whether it be MARC events here in Manchester. We had a wonderful Veterans Day service project this year, or making meals for those who are less fortunate, and countless other opportunities that kids take on their own accord, which is great. Mission and Catholic identity, certainly a strong point of here at East Catholic. The second pillar we'll talk about is enrollment. Enrollment in any private school is a primary revenue driver, and we are making good progress. In the strategic plan, it outlines that we were targeting 5% growth per year in our freshman class over the next 3 years, starting in 2022. That was the goal. Well, Mr. Malone, Ms. Steinmar, we did a little better than that. So last year, from last year and the first year of the strategic plan, there was a 35% increase in the freshman class. That's pretty good. Well done. So what do you do when you beat your goal for the 3 years in 1 year? Well, you say, we're not satisfied. We're still going to hold and try to build that 5% over the next 3 years. So if you take this year's class was 116 freshmen, class of 2027, that's the class of 2026. These numbers get staggering these years. Class of 2027 would be 122 as our goal for next year's incoming class. Class of 2028, a goal of 128 students. And the class of 2029, a goal of 134 students. And when I was doing the math on this over the last week, I started to say, okay, well, if we do that, what's the number going to be? What's that total number going to be? And we had a chance to talk as a leadership team numerous times over the last couple of years. And my question to them always was, what's the ideal size for East Catholic? What would be the great number to have year in and year out for East Catholic? And the number was 500. And we said, okay, it's going to take us some time, but we can get there. Well, if you add up those numbers I just read off to you, it is exactly 500 students. So will we get there? Obviously, we're going to work our hardest to get there. Is it the right number? We'll find out along the way, but we want to make sure that we do a great job in our enrollment process for all families. To reach these ambitious goals, we're intently focused on 3 aspects of the enrollment process. The first is admission. Getting the right mission-appropriate students in each freshman class is vital. We want to make sure that we are able to retain and continue our wonderful community and family that we have here. Retention. Retention attracts the number of students who leave as well as those that come in beyond after the 9th grade year. So our goal there is always to balance or surpass a 0 number there. So if we have 3 kids leave the school, we want to make sure that we get 3 or more that come in as transfers. So I want to make sure that we balance that retention and keep the students that we would like to have here. And then the third piece is marketing, telling our story with one brand, one voice. And thank you to many, some parents who have been involved with us in this here. We've had information, we've had ads out on TV, radio, social media. We just connected with another agency. We'll be coming out in the next few months with more leading up to our spring open house. So that is crucial. The other piece is community outreach and engagement, making sure that we are out in the community and connecting with people either in service opportunities or art opportunities, competing in art competitions and music competitions, drama competitions. Obviously our sports get a lot of attention, so that's crucial as well. But still our greatest driver without a doubt is word of mouth. So the more that you all who are satisfied and excited about the experience your children are having, if you can speak out and tell others, that's the best. A couple important messages we want to make sure that we're conveying to prospective families. We really want to make sure that we have a diversity of thought and representation here at East Catholic, that it's not just one view and one view only about the world. So, you know, and as we look at these numbers continue to rise, you look at our students, we have about 36% now that are non-white students coming from vast different backgrounds. We have 35% that are not Catholic, and we have to be aware of that. We certainly continue to hold our Catholic school as a shining light, but we have to also recognize that not everybody's coming in with a similar background. The second piece that we want to make sure that we convey to families, because oftentimes it can be a turnoff if you just see a whole tuition number for the year, is our tuition assistance program. We have a great program where we are able to allot significant monies out of our budget to families who are in need. We have named and endowed scholarships, merit money, unfunded aid, and when you add all that up, each year we're giving out $1.4 million to deserving families. And that certainly makes a huge difference for that diversity of thought as well, of thought and representation as well. Enrollment is always the thing that we're focused on most. 85% of our revenue comes from enrollment. So, but it's been an exciting time, and thank you again to Abby and Chad. Third pillar is academics. Obviously, we're a school. This is kind of a big one. And we really strive to teach as Jesus did, by challenging, loving, and guiding, right? That's our real goal here. East Catholic has and is one of the best college preparatory programs available, and it will always be that way. Has to be that first and foremost. And we set the bar high. But what's great about this place is the kids, they do the work. They're committed to it. They want to make sure that they get that done. And we're really proud of what they do. Within the strategic plan, if you get a chance to look at the whole thing after this address tonight, you'll see that there is a profile of an East Catholic graduate, one of 3 foundational documents in the strategic plan. The profile of an East Catholic graduate is that we want them to, in their 4 years, to develop and eventually get respect and appreciation for dignity in all people. That's crucial to us. We expect them to have strong moral character, to be responsible citizens, to seek excellence in academics, engage in service to others, and to have an appreciation for the fine arts. Our programs here are designed to be collaborative learning and problem solving that build the knowledge, skills, and behaviors our students will need to be successful both here at East Catholic and wherever they go. At this time, I want to just say how thankful we are to the wonderful teachers and dedicated coaches and staff that work here. They are tireless in their commitment to our students. Your son or daughter is known when they walk through those doors. They know the students' names, they have their backs, and they know how to draw the very best from them. They set the bar high, I will say that. I mean, they do, but they're there to catch anytime they need to. And that is really important and something you simply just don't find everywhere. I just have to say it that way. I'm not disparaging anyone else, but it is certainly the case. A second foundational document in our strategic plan is the profile of excellence in teaching and advisory. We want them to go far and above simply covering their subject matter. We want them to be committed to inspiring the mind, body, and spirit of each student, and that's very important to do all 3 of those. We want them to teach with passion. They care greatly about their subject matter, and that's important. But we want them to really bring it to the students as best they can. To foster an effective, motivating, and safe learning environment is crucial in this day and age. And to seek ways to improve themselves through individual and faculty-wide professional development. Second year that we've had a program here at East Catholic is our advisory program. For those of you who are not familiar with it, each faculty and some staff have a group of 9 to 12 students that meet with their advisor every other day. So one day on, one day off, one day on, all the way through the whole year. That is an important program for us, and it's still new. In year 2, it's still got some growing pains, but I would say that we're seeing some great benefits of it. We're seeing some great connections between adults and kids here at the school, and a perfect example was this morning. So this morning, as part of Catholic Schools Week, we had advisor breakfast, was the first thing right away out of the gates. It smelled like a Denny's when you came in the front door this morning, and it was awesome. Kids making food, teachers making food, having a great time, just really what it's all about. And it was potluck, so everybody brought in pieces for the breakfast. Really a great thing to see. And that's just, again, another example. We don't do it every day, although Mr. Malone, I think, told one of the shadow kids today that we do it every day. But they do a great job. And it's that shepherding of our young people through their 4 years here. We want to make sure that they have a go-to adult. And as parents, it's really should be, and it will evolve into your go-to person as well. It may be already for some of you. What we do in the classroom is vitally important, and we want to make sure that they're prepared, they're ready to go to the next level. What I asked, the same question that probably the alumni are already getting sick of me. Alumni, right? They come back at Christmas, they come back at different breaks, they come back and see their teachers and their friends, and it's always great to see them. They're so nice to return. And I don't really, I don't have a lot of chit chat for them. I just go right to the point. Were you prepared? Were you prepared for what college or university has presented you? And the answer is always yes. And if we are doing that, we're handling the academic piece pretty well. Student life is our next pillar. Student life, I have to say, our students are busy. They are very, very busy, as the parents know. Over 80%, close to 85% participate in at least one sport at any level. We have award-winning programs in art, music, and drama. Our kids engaged, our robotics team is just taken off like crazy, made it to the Worlds last year as an up-and-coming program. That's amazing. Our clubs are very vibrant and active. They seem to be more during the day now than back when I was here. Clubs were usually after school, but now we have some built-in time in there, so it seems like that's where they're sliding in more and more, which is great, because it allows kids to do other things after school. And like I mentioned before, we have 10 hours per year for service, and students significantly often surpass that service requirement. So they're busy, and they're being pulled in a bunch of different directions. And it's not easy for them sometimes, and we have to remember that they might get overcommitted, and we have to help them with that as well. And we're well along the way of our 3 areas of focus in building the welcoming place for all students that we aspire to be. Again, back to that advisory program, as much as we thank our teachers and staff that are advisors, it's also really important that the kids buy into the advisory program. It's the one 13-minute period of the day where no one is in the hallway. Think about that. They're all somewhere where they're supposed to be. All the other periods, there's some people who are free. There's some people, obviously, during passing time. That one period of 13 minutes every other day, that's where they are, and hopefully, and it seems like they're getting a great deal out of it. Our community engagement is the second area of focus that we're focused on, and that certainly we want everyone to be involved in something here, something that they can have a passion for. And we want them to develop into effective advocates and communicators. And what that means is we want them to not only be able to speak up for what they care about, but that they're able to write about it well, and that they're able to communicate it through the public speaking as well. So you see that in a lot of aspects of what we're doing here. The next pillar is advancement. Advancement, for some of you may not be familiar, used to be called development. And now it's really more about not just fundraising, but friend-raising, connecting, making sure that we get people to remain connected to East Catholic. So we want to awaken and engage and activate our alumni. We want them to reconnect with today's East Catholic. So we do that through communication, alumni newsletters. Thank you to Sarah Lamazzo, who's the wizard behind the screen here. Give her a hand. She did a great job helping me put this together. And Sarah is our communications and marketing director here, and she does a great job getting information out through our reunions, events on campus, bringing back for scholarship receptions, memorial masses, etc. We really want to make sure that our alumni are reconnecting with today's East Catholic. And we also want to make sure we're reconnecting them with each other, whether it's within their own class or in classes above and below them. So to that end, we've really started to assemble a list of people that would be interested in being class agents. Class agent job, if you're an alumni and a graduate of East Catholic, it's not heavy lifting, it's pretty straightforward, but it's a chance for you to get a hold of you folks in your class when a reunion's coming up, or when information's being sent around from East Catholic that we think that our alumni need to know about. So usually it's anywhere from 2 to 6 people within a class that do the brunt of the work to just keep people connected. I think I saw Dave Karen here, right? Dave, class of 72, correct? Dave and his buddy Dave Berube, they are the poster children for class agents. They track down everybody's address and email and phone numbers so that we could get in touch with them, and they had a very successful reunion last Thanksgiving. It was really wonderful, Dave. So thank you for that, and we're going to tap you to be a mentor for others, I'm sure. Annual fund is our biggest driver for philanthropy, and it's really important that I want to make sure that people understand. Like I mentioned before, 85% of our revenue comes from enrollment, but 15% comes from philanthropic contribution, and that's incredibly important for a school like East Catholic. If you just cut that 15% out, for example, we would not be able to pay all the bills that we have to pay. We'd have to cut back in other areas. We have seen we're seeing that number, that total amount rise because more and more people are getting engaged, which is great. But we still need to make sure that we're, meeting our budgeted number there. The gifts that come in through our annual fund are directed to scholarships or programs at the school. They contribute to facility improvements. And many folks, which we appreciate, obviously is the best thing that they can do, is to just say, put the money where there's the greatest need. It's a vitally important part of our budget each year. A new aspect here that we want to just unveil tonight is the Hill Society, right? Everyone knows East Catholic, 4 years together on the Hill, that song. Everybody's got that in their minds, etched in there. And the Hill is something that when you say, how's things on the Hill? What's going on at the Hill? The Hill has been part of East Catholic from the first days. It's where we are and where we live each day. And now we're excited to talk about the Hill Society. And this is an opportunity to plan ahead and put into your plan giving or estate planning something for East Catholic. It's a legacy gift, essentially. We don't need to know how much, a percentage, a number. That's nothing. But we would like to know if you're considering keeping East Catholic in your planning. So we'll get more out of that, more information on that out this year, and hopefully that you'll join today. It's a great opportunity for the future of East Catholic. I'm almost there. 3 more. Governance and administration. So governance and administration, this is our oversight as well as our administration here on campus. So we just want to make sure we're always improving. So when we say strengthen our advisory board, I first want to say thank you to our board members, past, current, and future, because they have done great work. I had a chance to reach out personally to a lot of former board members. Some were board members before I was even here, some who worked with me over the last couple of years, and obviously our current board members. But the work that they put in is just tremendous, and they're so supportive of what we do here. And we have some board members, past, present, I don't know about future, you can't really know that yet. So past and present, if you don't mind, if you could just stand for a second and just be acknowledged, we'd just like to thank you for your time and helping us out. And we are always looking to add to our board. So if there are alumni or parents or friends who want to make a difference and help out East Catholic, always feel free to pick up the phone, talk to me, talk to members of our advancement office, talk to other members of the board that you may know. We'd love to have you join us as well. We also want to make sure that we have as strong an administrative team as we possibly can. Our current administration functions pretty well, I hope. I'm biased. But I'd like to thank Jan Riley and Gina Burby in the back. I guess they can't move to the front, but we can still wave to them in the back and thank them for all they do. They are incredible. They really are. They've done such great work with the two areas that they cover. But that's the sort of, when you say, what's the administrative team? That's the three of us. But when I think it also extends to our department chairs and our senior leadership team as well, and I just want to thank them for all that they've done to support this school going forward. And that's members, that's directors of admissions, directors of athletics, et cetera. So they've done a great job, and just can't thank them enough. We'll talk about finances in a minute. Those folks in those different jobs on the senior leadership team control budgets. And so when I came in, they had never seen a budget. That's a problem. Business 101. Okay? And now they see them, and we hold them to them. So we're really proud of what they've been able to do there. We spend where we have to, but we don't spend more than we have to. The other strengthening our connection to our corporate board, which is made up of Archbishop Blair and other members of the Archdiocese of Hartford. We meet with us a couple times a year, and they're vital to our existence. And we want to thank Father White, Val. Did Val show up yet? No? Okay. Val Mera and Laura McCaffrey from the Archdiocese, the center at the Archdiocese of Hartford. They have been incredibly helpful to us. Partnering with East Catholic and building a sustainable and vibrant Catholic high school. Okay, facilities. So facilities here, 1961, you build a building in 1961 and you hope it stays together as long as it possibly can. As much as I would thank a certain member of our current board who has been here, has been on the board in a couple different times, and so I'm going to point him out. Charlie Cuccini, right down here in front. Please give him a hand. Charlie's an engineer by training. He loves this school. He loves all that he does for the school, and he knows every inch of this school campus from the top of the roof to the basement of every building. He's amazing. And he works with us tirelessly to make sure that we're improving everything that we can and afford. We've completed in the last year the auditorium roof, so we're not getting leaked on here. The asbestos abatement and raising of the convent building and annex building, and I just want to make sure everybody's clear on this. Okay, that building, no one wants to knock buildings down, but when I knew that was likely the situation that had to happen, I went to Sister Peggy. And I said, can we do this? And she said, give me the sledgehammer. She wanted to be the first one to take a swing at that thing. So it had to come down. We have possible plans for that space in the future, but right now it'll just be additional green space on campus. Those two things are completed. The three pieces that are coming up for the completion in the next few months, you see up there. The Integrated Technology Center, which was the library, will include a CAD lab, a makerspace and robotics area, a broadcasting studio, and a sort of brainstorming area right in the center that's very versatile. Much more in the 21st century, what we would need to be doing here. So that project is basically waiting on furniture right now. The weight room and fitness center has been, all that has been ordered, was on back order for a number of months, but we're ready to bring that in. It should be in the next 2 months, right, John? And then not as exciting on the external view is a generator, but this building has a lot of pieces and parts that need to be running if the power goes out. So that generator was on back order, 52 weeks? And so it should be coming in sometime before the end of the year here. In the future, there are still lots of needs. Gym floor and bleachers, and those bleachers, if you've come to see a game, taking your life in your hands if you're going up and down those things. We have to replace our fire panel to make sure that it's as safe as possible. Roofs on the original school building and roofs on Saunders Gym need attention. We're looking at a number of different options there. And then obviously we'd love to be able to put in a turf complex for our sports teams down the line. So lots of aspirational opportunities there, but it's going to take a lot of work and effort from a number of people. With the work we have done, though, I just have to say I can't thank Charlie enough, can't thank Rick Mazzucato enough and his team that helps us on the facility side of things. Really impressed with what they do. The really important thing is, as I look at it, is to address these needs before they break down. That's where we want to get to, because then it becomes more of an emergency. Okay, the last pillar is financial strength. And I put this pillar last on purpose because if we're living up to our goals in the first 7 pillars, this 8th pillar becomes not as difficult to accomplish for today's East Catholic and the school we all envision in the future. So the third foundational document, which is put together, is the financial sustainability statement. So you have the profile of an East Catholic graduate, the profile of teaching excellence and advising excellence, and financial sustainability statement. As I mentioned, enrollment is 85% of our revenue. We want to make sure that our staffing levels are commensurate with our enrollment numbers, make sure that our salary pool does not surpass our budgeted amount, and make sure that we have healthy operating financials and oversight by accountants, board members, at both the corporate board level and the advising board level. Our finance committee meets once a month off of our advisory board. It's made up of the board members and members from the Archdiocese of Hartford and myself and a couple other people on staff here. That meeting, when I got here in 2020, that meeting took about an hour and a half to 2 hours every month. It's now about a 30-minute meeting and people smiling when they get off the call. So we feel good about where our financials are. The last piece of that financial sustainability piece is that 15% of revenue from philanthropic giving as well. We have to make sure that we are balancing budgets. There's no more important focus in any business, to be quite frank, than to make sure that your budgets work. You can't do it any other way. So how are we doing? In 2020-21 school year, we had a predicted deficit due to an enrollment shortfall, and we actually managed a slight surplus prior to depreciation at the end of that year. Again, thanks to the people who work here. 2021 to 2022, again, predicted deficit due to an enrollment shortfall, and we actually managed a slight surplus that year as well prior to depreciation. 2022-23, the year we're currently in, we had a much smaller predicted deficit because we met our enrollment goals and surpassed them, but we do expect another small surplus based on the projections we're looking at right now. I would be remiss, and I really want to make sure that we thank all the parishes and pastors who stepped up in 2020 to form the St. Thomas Aquinas Trust for East Catholic. If you're not familiar with it, 5 parishes in the Archdiocese as well gave money into a trust, $4 million, that had to be paid back over 5 years, with interest payments quarterly as well as principal payments. I'm very, very proud to say that we've met all of our obligations on that money that needs to be paid back. We've paid all of the interest that's required. We've paid all of the principal payments that have come due so far in the first 2.5 years. We will be making an additional payment coming here in the next couple months. It was slated to be a certain amount, and we're going to be probably over 2.5 to 3 times, paying back 2.5 to 3 times more than what they had asked for at that time. Thank goodness, thank God for the employee retention credit that we saw from our federal government, which is bringing a good amount of money to us through that program because we were able to stay open, we were able to keep our employees employed and working. So right now, if you look at the balance sheet, when we have the full amount back from the employee retention credit, we will have as much as we owe to that trust. if you follow me. So that's there. I'm going to clap for that. We are not paying the full amount back right now because we still have a couple years on the trust, and God forbid anything happens. So you don't want to be paying that back and not have the money you need should anything go sideways. So those are the 8 pillars of our strategic plan, and I'd just like to wrap up by thanking the steering committee who helped put that strategic plan together. Dave Lanciano was our co-chair. Thank you, Dave, for being here tonight and for helping there. Charlie Catrini, Molly Devaney, who wasn't supposed to be here but is, we love it. Matt Hallisey, Pat Kennedy, who's not here. Mike Massaro slipped in, I know. Thank you. Vito Perrone, who's an alum who works up in the West Springfield school system. Lisa Steimer, who was our former chair of our board, and Jim Weir were the members who helped us out on that. So thanks to all of them. I'm going to close with one more thing in a second, but when you leave, we will have cards back there that just a strategic plan card with a QR code on it. That will take you, please grab one, that will take you to our entire strategic plan. It's about a 24-page document, so that is available on our website. So if you care to read that in more detail, please do, and always follow up with any questions or comments you might have. And that will take you, as I mentioned, to the whole plan. So my friends, in the 80s, I was a student here. Oh my God, that's a long time ago. I could never have imagined how much the formation of my life's work would begin in these halls, and much less that my life's work would lead me back here. There's no way I could completely convey the gratitude I feel for all the blessings that God has bestowed on East Catholic, or that East Catholic has bestowed on me. With God's living guiding presence, East Catholic High School will always be more than merely books and bricks and mortar. We will be a community guided in the Catholic faith and the teachings of the examples of Jesus Christ that will go on to shape minds, bodies, souls, futures of our students, our faculty, our staff, and alumni, and all the people that they touch wherever they're called to go. So thank you, and may God continue to bless us all. Thanks for being here. So that's a lot to throw at you. Any questions? There's always the first one's hardest to get. Anything I didn't cover or you're wondering about? Good news?
Great job.
Good news? Spread the word. It's great news. It's just great to be here every day. It really is, and we're blessed every single day. So I'm more than happy to answer questions. I also am happy if you just want to come up individually afterwards. But as teachers know, sometimes someone might have the same question. All right.
I don't have a question, however, I just wanted to say I appreciate this very much. Having had, married to an alumni, having my third finishing up next year.
Yep. Yeah. Not hopefully. It'll all work.
With this just related to the pride I have for the school and knowing that I have an extended family coming into the school next year. Before coming in to the building today and just having that discussion, it was all about, I was so excited, and now I can't even wait to get off and call them again and tell them, how beneficial this was. So thank you.
We saw the last name, and I was like, wait a minute, there's not another one there. But same name, just a nephew, right?
Yes.
Thank you. That's very nice of you to say.
And vice versa.
Yes, sir.
Sean, you're not going anywhere, I hope.
No plans to go anywhere, nope.
Because I know you've been a few other places before you came here, so.
Yep.
Hoping you're here for the long haul.
I hope so. Yeah, I love it here. Love it here. Thank you, Dave. Anyone else? We will be sending this video out just so you are aware, obviously you don't need to watch it again, but certainly if you have friends and family that you'd like to encourage to take a look at it, when I was interviewing for this job 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago, we have a Facebook group. Class 85 has a Facebook group, right? Just like a lot of Facebook groups for different classes. And I got so much encouragement from my classmates to put my name in and work at it and hopefully land the job. And except one guy, he said, "You're crazy." He said, "You're crazy. It's not going to work." And I said, "Man, it's not closing on my watch, and it's not anything that's going to go down. And I have too much pride in this place to let it go the wrong way." So I'm going to send him this link right away. Thank you. Have a great night.